What's behind me here is a 1993 Manitou, about a 24-foot boat, and it needs a lot of work. So this boat came to me from a customer from Ohio, towed it here about 4 hours away, and he had done a lot of the work to strip it down, but left some stuff for us to do, including tearing off the console, getting the motor off, unhooked from the console and such. If you own an older boat, this is a really good video for you because we're gonna show you what a little bit of fabrication work can do to modernize the floor plan of this boat and give you some more options for deck space, layout, all of those good things. So let's take a walk around real quick, and we're just gonna look at what those fabrication things are. Now that you've kind of seen the way it came into us, I can show you what we're gonna be doing exactly. So up front here, the deck used to end here. We're gonna weld on a couple more brackets up front here, just behind these bow eyes. We'll run one more cross member across. That's gonna gain us at least about a foot of extra deck space. That's a huge improvement. And then as we come to the back, we're missing about another 8 to 10 inches or so here of space. So what we're gonna do is make another bracket out of some flat stock 5000 series aluminum, 5052. That's what all of this is made out of. This is more of an extrusion. It might be 6000 series, but that's neither here nor there, because what we're gonna do is bend it to match, weld it on, and then we're gonna brace it, kind of make an M bracket from each side just to help reinforce, just so that we get a little more support for the back. He does have big plans to repower. I know the transom's missing. He brought me a beefier one that he picked up locally, so we're going to install that when we're done reworking and reframing the back of the boat here. A quick heads up, if you're learning about this stuff for the first time, when you go to remove your steering cable, you need to hold on to the nut of the steering cable as well as the nut of the steering tube of the motor, or this is what's going to happen. He just kept loosening and it ended up just loosening out the actual steering tube of the motor. Let me show you what I'm talking about in terms of holding on to two different things here. Using this boat as an example, it's a Yamaha, but essentially the same system. This is the nut for the steering cable. This is the nut for the steering tube, which the steering cable slides through. There's another nut on the other side. Sometimes when you go to loosen or tighten the steering cable nut, this is going to turn with it, and eventually, or essentially, or both, turns the tube loose, and that's what happened on the boat I just showed you. That tube came right out. So before I can reinstall it, I've got to reattach it, which means you can see here, should be in line with this, the tube going through that hole and this hole on both sides. We're gonna have to fix that before we get too far, kind of just dangling there now, but that's what I'm here for. We'll get it back in there and done correctly before we do anything with that steering cable. Nice little 4-stroke on this older boat. Every now and then, you get stuff real clean and it lays in really nice, and you hate to cover it up, but these are those brackets. Another one on this side. They're gonna go to take this last cross member and just TIG welding them in there. This is pretty darn thin. This is a little thicker, my bracket, but when you get it clean, get the machine running right, it is gonna lay in some nice welds. I feel like I was just talking about this kind of stuff on a recent video. This boat's a 1993, but if we look where I'm gonna weld this last bracket, we're talking 7 1/4 to that weld. On the starboard side, 7 1/2. Same last bracket, same start to the weld over here. What in the world are they doing? Drives me nuts some days. We've got 3/16 wall, 2x2 tubing, lots of it, plus hat channel, plus a Z channel. We're ready to get the transom up, squared up, and bolted in.
Plus
Real, huh?
I said plus the kitchen sink. Adding
kitchen sink to the cross members. But gusseted the corner. So this is one of those things, I pointed this out in a recent video, but as Corey's sweeping, I'm just kicking stuff on the floor. Gusseting these, if you plan on taking an older boat like this 1993, maxing out the horsepower, even if you're not adding to the back here and welding in more plate for a bracket, you should still, if you got your boat stripped down, get it to a welder, have a friend, pay him in beer, whatever you gotta do, come over and weld in a gusset here. Ideally TIG welding, make sure you always pull that drain plug out so it doesn't explode. This is gonna give these so much strength when you put a heavy motor on here, the torque, the twist, movement, all of it. I had to fix a friend's 2-year-old Toon that had a full welded bracket across the back, but there was still a crack there. Who knows what from, but it was letting water in. We had to go back over that and get a little deeper weld in there. So it's not like everything is bulletproof, but we're gonna take steps like this while we're in it to go ahead and shore it up a little better. So keep that in mind. We're ready. We're gonna bolt this transom up. Here's the old capacity plate from the manufacturer, and it was rated, as you can see, for 115 horsepower as it used to be. Well, we've now beefed it up, gusseted the brackets, added cross members, and a beefier transom. This thing is ready. Flooring is on, and as you can see, we've got our black deck trim back from powder coat. Railings are going on. It's gonna look really sharp. We've got a lot of darker colors, the black, the blue. I think it's gonna look really neat when it's all said and done. So here's a quick tip. This is more and more common. If you found black powder coated deck trim, or you painted it yourself or had it powder coated, it runs around 300 bucks for a whole boat's worth. That's the end caps and the 8-foot sections. I pre-install everything with all the holes drilled, because powder coat needs holes drilled. It's literally fully installed, and then we take it all off, run it to powder coat, wait a few days, and put it back together. But what I'm gonna do, especially where things are gonna be sliding, like at a doorway like this, I'm gonna put some painter's tape right here, double layer it, because this corner here is gonna be moving back and forth as I fit up my railing spacing. I don't want to be gouging in here and have to touch that up, so I'm going to put a couple layers of painter's tape on there. When I get to that point, just peel it off and then get it stuck for its forever spot. I'm sure you could go ahead and just throw a layer of painter's tape across, but the rest of this stuff won't move a lot. I'm not worried about that. It's at the doorways where I'm more concerned. Got my tape on. That'll peel right off, not hurt the powder coat. Now, this can move on here and it's not going to beat up that powder coat. You'll find when you're installing these railing kits that sometimes when I get the railing here where I want it, I got it right now at 1.25 inches from the edge of the deck trim. When I come up here and I try to pull this out, all this wants to slide over and I lose my measurement there. So I clamp this clamp to the deck trim to block the railing from moving. Now I can pull this one out and I'll clamp it to the deck trim here. That's how I work my way through, manipulating as I go to get the railing right where I want it. And yes, it's not uncommon for me to have this many clamps going just to get this set up and get it square, because getting the back set right on this side and the other side, that's the critical piece here. Then I can move forward from there and only have to use a clamp or two. But this is really critical to get everything square, running straight from the back. So what I'll do now, mock up my other side. And what I like to do is take a measurement. The end of my sun deck is here. So I'm gonna take a measurement where my next panel, that 55 panel, where that seam is. And what I like to do is square that up on the other side. Then I know everything's gonna run in nice and clean and square across. Just a little tip, that's what I do. Here's another railing quick tip or cheat here. Sometimes grabbing on, you're at a joint and it wants to move on you. You need to get it straightened out to keep with your measurements. I clamp a clamp here, and that becomes a handle for me to manipulate the railing now to get this, train is loud today, to get this hole where I need it and this rail lined up with the edge of the deck trim where I want it. I can pull and manipulate my railing. I'll pull it into position, get my measurement, and then I'll throw another clamp on here to hold it down to the deck trim. So I got where I want it. I could either clamp it, or if I've got my drill handy, I can go ahead and run my hole. And with this deck trim, this is the Pontoon stuff deck trim. We are going through the aluminum and the deck. That's going to be common for your railings, especially if you're using Pontoon stuff railing kit. So you got to get through that aluminum, keep going, dry all the way through the wood. I keep that clamp on there so I can pull it back in position, line up my bolt, and drop it in. Because my drill bit that goes into my right angle tool is broken, just snapped. You pay good money for good tools and they still let you down. I don't know what to tell you. But a lot of you at home, you might not have that attachment for your impact or drill. Just take another drill bit. This is easy because I've got the black powder coat, but I measure this again right where I want it. And I'm gonna run my drill bit down through here, make sure I'm hitting the deck trim, and I'm just gonna etch in where I want to drill my hole. I haven't run any other bolts in yet, so I can just move this out of the way. If you've got bare aluminum deck trim, you might have to sit there and work this a little bit more, or take a smaller bit. If you've got a pencil or something that can fit in there, mark your hole. We're just gonna push this out of the way, and we're still bolted in up here, but not here, and then I'll run my hole straight down through. Still gonna protect from my drill hitting anything. You don't have to be a pro fabricator, welder, metal worker to work on this stuff and install this kit. I call this carpentry on water right here. We're just fitting things up, measuring 20 times, and then running those bolts in. And yes, we have full videos on the install of these railing kits. Check out the channel for those. Today's a big day. It's all about electrical. So I'm gonna be installing our docking lights, navigation lights, under deck lights. I've already got some seat lights underneath. We're gonna put lights inside the seats too to help light that up at night or in the morning. It's a fishing boat, gotta remember some special use. Let's take a peek and show you where we're at now, and then I'm gonna get to work on the electrical. Also, it's been brought to my attention that not everyone loves to talk about cavitation on the channel. So we're just not going to mention it for a while. Leave it out for now. That black deck trim is on. Looks really sharp, especially with that black power Bimini. Really ties in nice there. And our furniture is now in, screwed in. And like I said, I put those LEDs on the underside of the seats on those benches. And I snuck an LED up on the front of the console and a couple on the back side. So what we'll do is we'll run these on switches so that the front seating can light up, including the light right here or the back. And then we'll put all of the seat base lights, the ones that are going inside, those will all be on one switch. Just flip it on, they all come on. That's where we're at. Lots of work left to do, but we're up for the task. This boat is getting really close. Hopefully today is the last day that I will be working on it. I'm just tying up some loose ends. I got to run the wire for the trolling motor, a big 36 volt trolling motor, run the battery under the helm with the charging system. That's my live well hose right here. Got to install that under the seat. A couple other things. But since the last check-in, I've got the console all wired up, all of the electrical accessories, your nav lights, the under seat lights, in seat lights, so many accessories on this boat. There's 12 switches on the panel. We used 11 of the 12 for this project. That's a new record for me. We custom made a little sun deck countertop instead of a cushion. He didn't need the cushion, wasn't going to be usable for him. So we went with a solid board with marine vinyl, more of a fishing vinyl, and we're going to put some cup holders in it, make it a little more practical for him. And then we've just got to tie up loose ends. So we're almost there. I'm going to keep working on it today. Hopefully by the end of the day today, we're doing the final walkthrough on this boat. Just finished hooking up the trolling motor and the battery system. Got the remote here. Super fast response to that controller. It's a really nice unit. I make these boxes, just weld them up, I have them powder coated. That conceals all the wiring. And this one's a little bigger than usual because it is going to house a fish finder potentially in the future. So we've got space on top of that to house a nice big screen. It's solid aluminum, so you can bolt something right to it. It's not going anywhere. We are all finished. This boat's ready to go back home to Ohio for a season filled with fishing and seasons to come. Let's just start by looking at the front of this boat. Remember, this is a 1993 Manitou. It's got those typical Manitou fronts of the pontoons. We brought the deck forward about a foot, which gave us room to have these fishing seats up front, out in front of the railings. Big 36 volt trolling motor on here, and if we come around, pointed this out before, but we do a box. If you're ever interested in custom stuff like this is a box that houses a plug for the trolling motor for quick connect. It also is going to house a nice big screen as a fish finder up here too. So we can build these for you and ship them. Just reach out, send us an email, tomstoons.com. You can find the contact information there. We blacked out the deck trim. So this is the pontoonstuff.com deck trim and corner caps. And we went ahead and just powder coated it, had it powder coated. I don't powder coat. I think that takes a giant facility, but you know what I mean. So we had this powder coated all the way around the boat. Let's go take a peek in the back, show you what we did back there, and then we'll climb on and show you all the inside goodies. In the back here, we've got the big heavy duty stainless swim ladder that drops way down low, all the way basically to the floor here if I let it drop. And this is a tow bar. This is actually from Amazon, believe it or not. And we've installed probably between 5 and 10 of these now. They've held up really well. They're really sturdy. And in fact, we had one on our Tri-Toon that went 30 plus mile an hour with tubes behind it, and it did fine. I know it's always going to tell you do not pull tubes with it. We did, and everything was okay. But we do tie this into structure of the boat. So we tie this into cross members and a big backing plate as well. So keep that in mind. In terms of the battery system back here, this is really common where you're gonna see your batteries under the sun deck area. We did do a switch. This was the best place to put it, right? Easy access, but it's still out of the weather there. It's a dual bank battery system with a 4-position switch, and everything runs down through the transom to the motor, so it's a nice clean look. We have our live well pump. So there's a pump, 800-gallon pump for the live well to fill, and the best place to put it on this boat was right through the transom And no matter what, you're not going to be able to pick up water if you're going too fast, but this is still going to be submerged. It's still going to pick up water and send it to the live well. We didn't have a big enough bracket out here to use for that without welding one on, and we already used this one for our transducer for the fish finder. So that was a great place to put it. I think it's going to work really well right there. One of those big changes that we made on this boat, the deck used to end about right here, and in order to maximize everything we wanted, this walk around backspace, we welded on a new bracket. We gusseted it into the pontoon for extra structure. We added all that extra support, but this is something that you can add on to any boat if you don't want that extra space on the back of the pontoon. We've done this a number of times where we're able to add brackets back for cross members to go across. Let's jump in, show you the inside customizations. So the trolling motor in this position, the stowed position, it does require the door to be open. There are door stops that you can use to keep the door in the open position. That keeps the door open, allows that trolling motor to go up and down. You could tip it up and stow it in a vertical position when you're on the water and use the collar to slide it up and down. That way you could have the door closed if you wanted to. Luxury seating, this is gray with charcoal accents. And in this seat, we've got a live well, big 38-inch bench seat. So this is the larger live well. They also offer this in the 28-inch. We installed that. And actually one of the really cool things about this, all of these seats have LEDs inside of them. So when you're out at night and you need to find something, or you need to get your catch out of the live well when you get back home or to the boat launch, you can light it up and you've got it. Every single seat has lights underneath inside of the seat base. And they also have lights under the bases as well. Simple little lounger here, 38-inch bench with a lean back and an armrest. And then this was a customization that he requested. He saw this on one of our other videos, but it is a board that's covered in this fishing vinyl, and it matches really, really well with these luxury gray and charcoal seats. We've got cup holders in there, and he went with the power Bimini. And we've got the boot on there, so it's not gonna go all the way up. But just as easy as holding the switch to go up and down with this Bimini top. Really, really nice feature, especially if you're on a waterway where you need to raise and lower your Bimini, maybe to get under a bridge or something else. Don't let that hold you back from going under that bridge. Power Bimini is a great investment for that type of situation. And if you're tired of fighting with your significant other when you're trying to put the Bimini up on the water on a windy day. We've all been there.
Marriage saver.
The marriage saving Bimini top. Available at pontoonstuff.com. Speaker-wise on this boat, the customer provided his own stereo and speakers. We were able to fit, if you look up in the front corners, those are 8-inch Scar audio speakers. I've never done an 8-inch speaker in a seat base, but they do indeed fit in those corners. The others are 6-inch and they're back here. And just something to remember, if you're mounting these speakers in a bench seat, just like this in the face of a seat, we got to go as low down as possible in order to open this seat, because the seat is going to hit just barely at the top there. So something to keep in mind, I mount those as low as possible. That way I still get the seat nice and open and I can still get inside of there. Ooh, one other fun thing. Check out under this helm. So this is a single cell 36 volt battery. This is lithium. This is so cool. This system is not cheap, but this whole battery weighs maybe 40 or 50 pounds. If I were doing lead acid in series to get 36 volts, I'd probably be around 300 pounds with big 31 class batteries. This thing is way lighter. It's way more compact. It didn't even take up the whole console. There's still room to get in here if he needs to get to his fuse block or anything else. And there's a really cool little smart battery LCD right here. And this just tells us the health of that battery. So he's got his own little battery station right inside of here. It's really, really cool. And we've got a charging system too that came with this battery. It's right here, and there's a quick plug so he can get home, throw his extension cord plugged in right here, and away he goes. We've got the reclining Helm chair, and this is something you may have considered with this Helm. This is the deluxe Helm. Come around here and take a peek. We reused his shift and throttle and ignition from his old setup. He plans on repowering at some point, but I just bent a piece of aluminum, made a bracket here, so this can sit on top of this control box station. When he's ready to repower, he's gonna get new controls anyway. He's gonna go to a Mercury, and this is a Honda. So they're gonna be able to remove this, cut out a hole in this compartment, and run his new controls down through. He'll be able to put his ignition switch somewhere up here on the dash, under here probably. It's for his new motor. We've got the Garmin up here on a ram mount, so this is adjustable. It can move, pivot, turn, face the front of the boat wherever it needs to go. And we did do a custom panel for him for gauges. So he's got his GPS speed, tachometer, volt, fuel, and a trim gauge. Again, that's gonna go with his new motor when he repowers. Under his back little fishing station area back here, bar top, whatever you wanna call it, we did install a brand new fuel system. And as any pontoon boat goes, it can be tricky to get the fuel fill out the sidewall and fill it without spilling. So we made this simple for him. He's gonna be able to just come back here, have a gas can resting on the railing, or have a refill can, and our fill is right here. He's gonna be able to just fill it right up. But with this tank, to go to the bigger tank that he wanted, there wasn't an option out there to have the tank that could fill through the side of the railings. His old tank didn't fit. You might run into that from time to time with the new railing kits, but now he's got a brand new fuel system, all new fuel components. He's ready to go when he gets that new motor. We made this boat basically brand new. This boat's heading home. We're on to the next one already. It's actually right next door to us over here. Double decker. We'll be back with a video on that boat too when that's wrapped up. But we gotta send this home. Thank you so much for watching. All of these seats are available at pontoonstuff.com. This teak vinyl flooring, these railing kits, it's all available at pontoonstuff.com. Go check them out. We've got discount code in the description of this video. You can use that, saves you money, helps our channel. We will see you on the next video. Until then, I hope you're getting ready because it's April, almost May. It's time to go boating.